accidentally kidnapped by a bus full of Christmas carolers. 1995, when I was 8 years old, my school went on a field trip to the art museum. It's gonna come as a shock, but I was a little bit of a nerd and I was super into art. It meant that I had done a ton of my own research, so I didn't need the tour guide. While everyone else in my class was off doing the normal exhibit things with the tour guide, I instead booked it on my own. Now, I don't remember all of the details because, again, in 1995, I was 8 years old. But I will say, this article that my mom saved from the newspaper has some hysterical quotations in it, and I just want to talk to you about it. Because here's what happened. At some point, while everyone else was finishing up their tour, and again, I was off doing my own thing because I thought I knew better, I finished apparently going through the entirety of the art museum in the time that, the kids in my class went to the bathroom. Though I don't remember a lot because, my frontal cortex wasn't developed, I do remember at one point standing in the middle of the foyer and looking around at all strangers and being like, something's wrong. Because I was 8 and highly independent and again thought I knew better, instead of being like, I should go to a desk somewhere and ask someone with a uniform shirt, hi, I'm looking for my class, I instead was like, I need to find transportation home. Well, apparently, and this part is still foggy, but apparently I left the art museum and outside there, because it was in a busy metropolis, right, there was all bunches of buses. And I got on what I thought was the friendliest looking bus. What's the friendliest looking stranger bus? And I settled on the bus that had a bunch of people wearing Santa and elf costumes. Because, I was 8. It looked fun. Where are we going? North Pole? Great. I'd be an awesome toy maker. As it turns out, that bus was full of Christmas carolers that were going to a nearby retirement home, and so I ended up just in their traveling troupe for about 45 minutes, whilst everyone from my school was absolutely panicking. The best part of this whole story is that, while most people were freaking out, everyone on the bus was apparently not freaking out, because they discovered pretty soon into the ride that I did not belong there. Probably thinking, well, it's because they're a bunch of Christmas carolers that know each other, and they don't know you. But actually, that's not the reason, because as it turned out, a lot of them hadn't met before. The real reason why they discovered that I did not belong, was this. I had to zoom together. Okay. We knew something was wrong about halfway to the home, said James Grunfeld, tenor in the group. We started singing in the bus to warm up, and the kid didn't know any of the songs. He just started singing things like Poopy Butthead at full volume. Apparently I was like, hark the herald poopy butt. I've talked about on here before, I am a very bad singer. In second grade, 24 kids were in the class, and all 24 tried out for the choir, and Mrs. Stack took 23 of them. She left me out. I sat by myself in the classroom during the entirety of music period. Some of you on here have been like, Dylan, there's no way that you're that bad at singing. May I present this? Add Brenda Mitchum to the list of people that just have it out for me. I'm hoping he's not old enough to read this when I say it instead of Brenda, but he was one of the worst singers I've ever heard, even for a kid. It's pretty rare to be thankful that someone is terrible at singing, but that was how he knew something was wrong. And the poopy butt headlines that... So I went on this adventure as an 8-year-old where I spent 45 minutes in a bus full of strangers in elf costumes. And if you're like, that sounds like a great origin story, may I also present this? Definitely needs to work on his voice, said Lapkin. She was like the head of the caroler. She was introduced early in the article, but the kid's funny. I'll give him